Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Q&A for Movie Talk. I'm here with my friend, and I don't know whether to call him a co-host or not. It's just us, just friends getting together, movie buffs, talking about movies. It's Tom Hunyadi. Hey, Tom.
Hello, hey Joe. Nice to be back, and thanks for having me. Yeah, I mean, we so many times off camera we talk about films, so it's great that we get to we're doing this and having everybody join us with for this. So ask your questions, people.
Yeah, Tom has a channel. It's
Mm,
called Two Legs, the number two
mm,
legs. All right, and that right now it's Two Legs of Paul McCartney podcast. There you
yeah,
go. That's
mm,
that's if you like Paul McCartney, it's a Paul McCartney centric podcast.
yep.
And he keeps promising that he's going to be trying to do a channel of movies, right?
Yes, yeah. But if we keep messing around here, then I'm just like, what's the point then of doing a
Yeah.
channel if I'm just
Well,
gonna, you
maybe I'm
know,
better off not even mentioning it
yeah,
because I
right,
don't want to lose you. So,
right,
uh, but let me just tell you before we start here, I'm waiting for people to come in. Hello to the
right,
people who are here already. There's another feature I'm going to be doing here. You know, I do a lot of horror movies now. A lot of people watching my channel are going to think, "Well, this guy, man, that's all he's got is horror. He's got Bela Lugosi over there. He's got a shirt with the monsters on it
right,
over here." Well, that's my favorite thing. Much like the Beatles are my favorite in music. I like all kinds of
right.
monster movies, horror movies. But there's a friend of mine. His name is Richie. Some of you may know Richie from videos I do on my other channel, Mean Mr. Mayo, and Julio and Richie, they're friends. Anyway, Richie's a big fan of monster movies, and we decided we're going to do a series called Mayo's Monster Mash. Or that's tentatively always changing titles, always changing titles, and we're going to record that soon. So stay tuned here for whenever that debuts. It will not be live; it'll be pre-recorded. It'll be a video, and hopefully we'll be getting into some monster talk.
Hmm.
Oh, it's so good to see some of the people here. Hello, everybody. Kimba,
Hey,
oh,
Kimba,
Daniel Bean.
Beans, Daniel Bean, Woodland, of course, Ollie.
Oh, this is very nice. I like this. The Pirate Gamer Boy 12, new subscriber here. Thank you. Just saying, I quite like your videos on both channels, especially the rants. Yeah, I'm still
Cool.
thinking about the rants right now. The rant videos, when I go crazy ranting about crap, they're usually over on my other channel, Mean Mr. Mayo. So
Hmm.
go over there if you want to see Beatles content, music content, and that. Tim Allen is here. And I noticed, let's see, Woodland
Tim,
Goblin.
Tim, Tim, Tim,
Oh,
Tim,
and this
Tim,
is really, I
Tim.
love seeing this person here, Mike. His
Yeah.
name's Mike, Gray 1951, Media Channel. It's always a pleasure going over to his channel. It's always a pleasure when he comments on my channel. Mike, I'll tell you this. I don't care if I tell you this a million times. Eventually, I want you on here. I want you to come and make an
Come on,
appearance.
Mike.
So good to see you there. Here.
Hmm.
We will see then there. Um, see everybody's coming up. Robert S. Okay,
Roberts, how are you, Robert?
before we begin, Tom, why don't you take it? You said you had some stuff.
Yeah, I just this past year I've been or this past month actually, like the last 2 weeks of December and then the first couple weeks of January, I've been really able to get back into, watching and buying movies again for since, been so busy with the other podcasts and stuff. So it's been really nice to be able to, relax and get to these films again. So yeah, I've been picking up a bunch. I ended up getting a ton of gift cards from work, from for gifts and other ways as well. So I just been on a big buying spree lately. So I'm just going to show you guys some of the stuff that I've gotten over the last week, 2 weeks or so. So, some of my favorite films that I've been upgrading to Blu-ray that I've had on DVD, but now I'm getting on Blu-ray. So, one that I really like a lot was from 1943. This is a Henry Fonda star
Ah,
called Oxbow Incident, which is a great film. Brian De Palma is hit or miss sometimes, but I bought this because it was re-edited the way Brian De Palma originally thought it should be, but at the last second he changed it to what you saw in theaters. If you did see this, and this is the film Raising Kane. Now you get the theatrical cut, and then you also get the recut as well. So this was worth checking out.
I'm going to wait to interject. I saw
Yeah,
Raising Cain once. I like John
yeah,
Lithgow very much.
right,
However, I remember I didn't care for that film too much
right,
personally.
right.
Although I have seen and do like Oxbow Incident with Henry
Excellent.
Fonda.
Excellent. Cool. So I've told you before, Joe. Burt Lancaster is is probably my second favorite actor of all time, and Kino Lorber has been putting a ton of his movies out on Blu-ray, which I'm very grateful for. So the latest one that just came out is from 1948, and that's called All My Sons. Which you can see right there is the man who was in little favorite film of yours, there, huh? Edward G. Robinson and
Yeah. Well, Soylent Green among
Soylent Green.
many others.
Right. We talked about this film when briefly when I think when we were talking about Maniac Cop and Bruce Campbell, and I did upgrade and I got Bubba Hotep, which is also starring Ossie Davis. Which is just a fun, kind of scary film. Not really scary at all. This is like
Yeah.
one of those beginner horror films.
And it's
Um,
Elvis. It's an Elvis
and
kind
it's
of
he's an
parody.
I mean, Bruce Campbell is a Elvis impersonator. I mean, what else? And Ozzie
Yeah.
Davis is actually thinks he's JFK. So,
Yeah. I've seen
um,
that one. That one was fun.
right. If I was going to rate my 6 to 10 favorite actors, Daniel Day Lewis would be in that category right there, and I really love this film called The Boxer. This was out, I think, '97. This was on Emily Watson, one of Emily Watson's first films early in her career too. So really good movie right there. And then last, but well, no, second to last, is I'm a big fan of David Carradine. He can almost do any wrong. I just love the B films that he's in because he's one of the great classic B film
Kill
actors.
Bill.
Yes, Kill Bill, excellent. But this one's called Circle of Iron, which the
Hmm.
name has nothing to do with the premise of the film. However, this was a film that Bruce Lee wrote the story. I didn't do the screenplay, but he had the concept, the idea, and he was going to do this film before he passed. But this film ended up being made after his death. So there's that. And then, last but not least, I'm a big Criterion fan, Joe, and one of the greatest movies of all time just got entered into the
Prove it.
Criterion
I want you
list,
to prove it.
and there it is, Citizen Kane.
Oh, sure. Citizen Kane.
You
Yeah,
know,
I've seen
Citizen
that a few
Kane.
times.
Yeah. So,
Very
and
stylish
there it
movie.
is, the
There it is. See
logo.
that, folks? That's a tattoo, a Criterion tattoo.
Right.
That's how he can prove it.
Right.
That he likes that. All right,
Right.
Tom.
So,
Thanks a lot. I want to
yes.
get to see what I have. I think I had. Let's see. There was a comment that I wanted to find here. Well, I'll get to it. It was about. Well, this now. I like a good horror film too. Ever
Mm,
seen An American Werewolf in London? Yeah, and I saw it when it was in the theater, and then I have to tell you, one thing about me is I'm not a fan of An American Werewolf in London.
mm.
Although I admire the werewolf transformation effects,
Right.
um,
Right.
and the reason is because it's a little too jokey for me. I don't like films that kind of like poke themselves too much, like horror
Mm,
films that are like, hey, I'm a horror film, but yet I gotta have a lot of gags. I gotta be silly at the same time. Although in the last, I want to say 10 years, I said, let me reevaluate An American Werewolf in London, and I rented it, and I said, I liked it better than I used to.
mm.
So
Oh,
I
cool.
don't despise it or anything like that.
Right.
But
I haven't seen the whole thing. And it's just been re-released thanks to Arrow Video. And I'm thinking about picking it up. I'm very well know I know the scene when he transfers and the stout's coming out of his mouth. It's just a real
yeah,
classic, transformation into the werewolf. And that's basically all I know of the film. So I really, really want to see it because I mean, it's not that scary, is it? I mean, it's more.
I'm trying to remember. It has moments. I think the beginning when he actually gets attacked by the werewolf was pretty
Yeah.
intense. Yeah, and I remember hearing "Bad Moon Rising" by Creedence Clearwater Revival
Mm,
playing, which is
right,
it's
right.
effective, even if it's corny. It's a very effective. Now we're talking here about trying to avoid buying new DVDs when
Hmm.
possible. I always go for Blu-ray at minimum, which is
Yes.
better
Yep. Yep.
value. Yeah,
Yep. Yep.
yeah, we're both Blu-ray guys. Neither one of us is into 4K,
Right.
right?
Not yet. Not yet.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll ever be, but people always see. I've always had a thing with people who say, "Oh, I'm never going to get a CD player," when
Right.
CDs came out. And then they got one. People
Right.
said, "Oh, I'm sticking with VHS. I'm not buying DVDs." When are you going to have every title out on DVD that's on VHS? Never. Then eventually came to pass. Then they're like, "Well, I'll stick with my DVD, but I'm not going to Blu-ray, etc." And they do that, then they go to Blu-ray. But I mean it.
Mm,
Why do I say I mean it? Because, man, I'm getting older, and it's like I don't have enough time to decide to watch. These are like 2 rows deep, these movies. I don't have as much time to watch those in what's left of my lifetime. Never mind getting them all over again on 4K.
right.
So this is a pretty much a Q&A. Q&A. So if there are any questions, that would be helpful, folks. But otherwise, we'll just talk about stuff as we think of it, or bounce off things you're saying.
Right.
Let's see, what are we getting? Robert S. is not very big on horror films at all. A
Right.
beginner horror film sounds good to him. They're talking about
Well,
that.
there's some out there. I mean, I think of a film called House from late 80s. I think 88 or no, 86 I think it was or something like that. And it's just that's what it is. It's just like kind of scary. I mean, the make some of the makeup work is kind of scary, but you're not, you know, turning the lights off or you're not turning every light on when the movie's over. Kind of like Ring. I remember have you seen Ring, Joe?
Yeah, it was from
Yeah.
Ringu.
Yeah, from
Japan.
Ringo, exactly. Yeah, I mean, Ring scared the living shit out of me when I saw it in the theater. As far as my French, but I don't think I'd have ever been as scared as I was while watching Ring or The
Well,
Ring,
Beans wants
whatever
to
it
know
was.
if we're buying the new 4K A Hard Day's Night. You,
No,
Tom?
no, I got the Blu-ray. I'm quite happy with that.
Yeah, I'm quite happy with the Blu-ray. I don't intend to buy the 4K A Hard Day's Night.
Right,
Now, the only way I could see me getting into 4K is if I'm kind of forced into it, meaning whenever I buy my next TV, it's going to be a 4K TV. I think, right? You can't help it.
right,
They're making
right.
4K. I hear there's going to be 8K.
Oh, jeez.
I've heard. So
Hmm.
anyway, but it's getting ridiculous now. And I'll tell you about talking about 4K. I've seen other people talking about these on channels where in a horror film, say, or any kind of film, not just horror, you may wear a lot of makeup, and now you can see
Hmm.
where the makeup really ends. You can see
Right.
strings on phony
Oh
airplanes.
yeah, yeah.
It's like it's already like that with Blu-ray, but they say it's really like exaggerated even more when you're watching it on 4K, and sometimes less is more. I don't know, you know.
Mm.
So okay, Tim.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh yeah, well here's the thing. I don't I only think it's overrated in the sense that when they say it's the greatest movie of all time, that I don't agree with. But I do think
I
it's
yeah.
one of them
Right. I think artistically, it could be the
artistically.
greatest film of all time. I love the way Orson Welles uses shadows. I think he was one of the greatest black and white directors of all time. He utilized, black and white very well, and especially in terms of shadows and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, I love Citizen Kane.
Oh, yeah, I'm just
Mm,
straight up horror comedy. You can't beat Tucker and Dale versus Evil. I don't
yeah,
know that
I
one.
don't know.
You got me, Daniel.
Yep. Um, I don't necessarily have a problem with it. I just bought one. I just bought Rock and Roll High School, and it was a steel box. The Mary Shelley's Frankenstein that's coming out here in a couple months that's being re-released by Arrow is steel box. So I don't necessarily have a problem with it. But if it's gonna be, just like a regular jewel case, I mean, that's fine too.
Mm. Yeah,
Yeah.
Bonnie and Clyde, Cool Hand Luke. Out of all those films, I think well, I like Kane and Cool Hand Luke. I like too.
Yeah, see, I tend to, for me, I mean, I've seen Bonnie and Clyde countless times. Not sometimes I think that's a little overrated, but it's important because it was one of those first films in that era that started showing the violent was, when you saw gunshots, you saw blood. You know what I mean? It was more violent. The restrictions were loosening up. So it was really that film was really important for its time.
Well, I like it when I see it because I like to look at Faye Dunaway. Other than that, hey, Kilgore Trout,
All
aka
right,
Alex. If I know him. I think it's my nephew Alex. I think looking
Shining
through my
Hell.
collection
Wow.
as we speak, and the only DVDs I have are The Shining, Help, and Westworld. Yeah, I got them.
Mm,
Funny, my nephews are really into Help because I got them at a
right.
young age. I got them right, I think, for that.
Mm.
Westworld also,
Kimba
Westworld.
asked a pretty good question when you get to it.
Yeah, The Shining,
Mm,
etc., etc.
yeah.
Oh yeah, there are, but well, one of them that pops to mind is this, which I thank you for asking that, Kim, because I have this.
Oh
The
yeah.
Light
Okay.
of
The
Day.
day. Yeah.
It's Joan Jett
Yes. Joan Jett star. Yeah.
and Michael J. Fox in general,
Yes. Of
and
course. Of
so
course.
on. It's not I think it's a pretty weak movie, but it's cool because Joan Jett's good in it anyway, and
Right.
I like to have that. And then I know there are other ones as well that well, Targets, the film Targets that I talk about a lot, Boris Karloff and Peter Bogdanovich directed film. I think it's coming on Blu-ray soon, but I don't think it's
Mm,
there yet.
mm.
And
I
you,
have. Yeah.
Tom?
Yeah, I'm a huge Paul Newman fan, and a film that I'm waiting to come out on Blu-ray to upgrade. I don't have it anymore because I got rid of all the DVDs that I had, but I love the film HUD with Paul Newman, and I really can't wait until that finally gets a Blu-ray release.
It's not on Blu-ray, huh?
No. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I did that already.
Yep.
This is the one.
Yeah. It's funny because for about 20 years I hosted Oscar parties. I had, we did the board, we put money on it and all that stuff, and we would purposely try to watch every contender. But over the years, I've slowly been losing interest in it. But I do want to watch. I try to make it a point to watch, but it's just not as exciting to me as it used to be.
Yeah, to be honest, I have no interest this year. I rarely ever have interest anymore, unless there's by any chance a movie that I'm really gung ho about that's a new movie, and I
Right.
might want to see them talking about it, or if it's going to get an award.
Right. Right.
I'm old fashioned again, just like with music. I like old
Right.
movies. I'm not that interested in the new crowd, and also without injecting too much politics into this, but that's what I'm upset about when
Yes.
they
Well.
object when they inject, and I object politics into it too much.
Well, they've been
It's
doing it for decades, though. I mean, look at Marlon Brando.
I've been it
Yeah.
was nothing like this when I was growing up in the
Yeah.
70s and 80s.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess that was one time I can recall,
Yeah.
and there was somebody else maybe that didn't want to go to the
Right.
Oscars or something. But anyway, so it's each calzone, not for me. Uh,
Okay. Yeah. Episode three of those prequels, Tim. I totally agree. Is far superior to the first two. I would say the first one, the Phantom Menace, is better than the second one. Attack of the Clones. The second one is I think the worst of the three. But that's just my opinion. But cool that you finally watched them.
what's the third one? Is that
It's called
Rise of
Revenge. Yeah, no, that's Revenge of the
Revenge
of the
of
Sith. Yeah,
and Sith?
yeah.
I did see all those. I'm not a Star Wars fan, but I do
Mm,
appreciate the original series somewhat. Uh, and although I did see all the newer ones, I hate the Phantom Menace. I think is for me far and away the worst.
Mm.
I remember enjoying Attack of the Clones the best of those three. I think.
Well, I can see. I would imagine that you probably like the arena scene where they're, where they're the three main heroes. They're tied up, and they bring out these aliens to, to kill them, and then they escape, and all the Jedi come in at the end, and
Don't even
I can
remember that.
see. Yeah,
I
well,
don't
I mean,
remember.
I can see you enjoying that because it's very retro, in a way. It's kind of like Ben Hurish in a way,
Is that an
epic, like
Attack of the Clones?
yeah, that's the second one, Attack of the Clones, yeah.
Because speaking of
Yeah.
Ben-Hur, I remember them trying to tell me that in the Phantom Menace it was like Ben-Hur because instead of a
Right.
chariot
Yeah.
race, they had that. But are you kidding me?
No, that's the Phantom Menace, I'm sorry. The races, yeah, I can see how you can enjoy that too, but the ending of Attack of the Clones, I can see you enjoying.
I don't even remember them to tell you the truth. I just
Right.
remember liking that one.
Yeah.
I when I saw them a long time ago,
Mm.
and I saw the first two not in the theaters. I saw them on physical media. Then
Right.
later on, I went to see whatever with the Sith or whatever it was called. I saw
Right.
that in the theater. That wasn't. I don't remember. I don't remember that being too bad.
Yeah.
But I'm just not a Star Wars guy.
Yeah. I actually got to be interviewed when I came out of the theater after that last one,
Oh,
Revenge of the Sith, so I was
you
on the
don't have
news.
it for. Where is it? Where's the footage of that?
Chicago. It's in Chicago. That's when I lived in Chicago, and I came out of the theater at like 5 o'clock in the morning because I went overnight to watch it. So, but go ahead.
Okay, you watched Magical Mystery Tour, and you didn't really like it much besides the music. I just found it confusing.
Well,
Well,
yeah. I mean,
that's it
it's,
entirely. Yeah, it's
welcome to
good.
Magical Mystery Tour.
It's good as a video
Mhm,
album, songs basically, music,
mhm,
the video performances of their songs, and the rest doesn't make any sense. Absolutely not. But these days, I can tolerate it much better than I used to. I
yeah.
look at it. I
Tim,
call it a time capsule. I look at it now as a summer of love psychedelic time capsule. I can
right.
have some kind of fun with it.
Tim had a good question about non-Beatle musicals when we get to it.
Yep, yep, well, yeah, Dario Argento. I've seen a bunch of his films. Suspiria is my favorite, but I have not seen opera.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of his films.
Yeah. Well, she'll get there.
Mm.
That's interesting. I don't know. Oh man, I should have an answer to that. I love horror films. I don't know.
Um,
Go ahead, Tom. You go first.
something that makes you turn every light on as soon as you're done watching it. Um, something that's something that that you don't expect. When you think something scary is going to happen, but it doesn't. But then 2 seconds later, that's when it happens. Um, and it's more suspenseful than anything. I mean, I'm not the biggest gore fan, so I remember one of the scariest things I ever saw was seeing the movie Signs, and they're
Yeah,
watching TV, and then they see that alien there for 2 seconds. I mean, I literally jumped out of my seat
that
when I
comes in
saw
my
that.
mind. That film. I
Yeah,
seem to remember that
right.
about it.
Yeah,
And there's a scene. If you ever saw The Exorcist 3, there's a similar kind of thing on it that
right.
everybody talks about. That's a shock. I don't know. I grew up with horror films, these kind
Right.
mostly, and I went from these to I can watch slasher films too, but
Right.
for the most part, like with these, I like it anything. I like a good story,
Yeah.
a good atmosphere in any kind of film. But with a horror film, I really just I don't know atmosphere. For me, it depends. When I watch old movies, I can watch 1950s monster movies, and it's just cool looking monsters,
Right.
you know. And then there's like scary movies like The Exorcist or The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, or Rosemary's Baby. That's a little unsettling. Yeah, I can't pinpoint it. For me, there's a lot of different things I like about it.
Hmm.
Okay, let's see. Doo, 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 doo. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just looking at the comments as well. You're probably way ahead of me on this. Uh,
Yeah.
Favorite non-Beatles rock and roll music films.
Well,
N- n-
there's several.
Non-Beatles rock and roll.
Yeah, I mean, I would say my favorite would be a film called Phantom of the Paradise by Brian De Palma, which was made before Rocky Horror Picture Show, but came out after Rocky Horror Picture Show because of some legal battles it had to deal with before it could be released. But Paul Williams does all the music. He's in the film, and it's one of my favorite early Brian De Palma films. I think it came out in '74, but was like filmed in like '72 or something like that.
See,
Yeah.
every time that comes up, I'm always disappointed that I don't like that film more. I should
Oh,
like it. I mean, I like
yeah.
Brian De Palma. I like the
Right.
Phantom of the Opera, the whole concept that now we're doing
Right.
Phantom of the Paradise with rock music. How great is
Right.
that? I hate opera. But
Mhm.
when I think of films though that are not Beatles, rock and roll, nothing really leaps out at me unless you're talking about Head, the Monkees.
Yeah. Had
Uh,
Rock and Roll High School is another good one too.
I've seen that. That was
Yeah.
good. I only saw it once. But
Right.
stuff like Don't Knock the Rock, these old 50s movies, Blackboard
Oh,
Jungle, Don't Knock
Blackboard
the
Jungle,
Rock.
a film that Criterion just announced that's coming out. She's got to have it. So
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything that really
Yeah.
knocks me out.
Mm,
American Graffiti is not a rock and roll film.
mm,
Rock and roll's 50 songs in it.
right.
But I might pick that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Doesn't really
I mean,
nothing.
I've never been to. I mean, I understand the appeal of Rocky Horror Picture Show, or Rocky whatever it's called, but it's not for me. Except for Susan Sarandon running around in her bra.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. HUD is amazing. Yep.
The Little Meadow Queen.
Hello, Metal. Do you really think Blu-ray is worth upgrading for? Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Absolutely, I agree. However, I don't know. I mean, for something like Get Back, I don't know.
Right.
I think there's
Yeah,
limits too, where I find, do I really need this? In some cases, but for the most part, yeah, I'd always go for Blu-ray for the most part.
yeah. And
You
thank you,
said some,
Gray. Yeah,
what
1951. Thank you. The girl can't help. Thank you. Yeah.
who did you say had an interesting question before? Because I didn't, you said Tim?
No,
Who
we
had
just
it?
did it. We just did it
Oh,
with the music
we
one.
did.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Because I'm going to trying to go
yeah,
keep in order as best I can.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Spinal Tap is great too.
well,
Tim,
I didn't
absolutely.
get there yet, buddy. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, Spinal Tap. Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm not. All these things I'm saying, I'm not as big a fan. He's coming up with
Mm,
things that I'm not as big a
no.
fan as he is. But yeah,
Mm,
what's this here? If you buy a Blu-ray player, you're concerned it may not play all your old DVDs. Sometimes they have issues being played on some Blu-ray players. That's not
mm.
true in my estimation.
Never had an issue. Sometimes you got to upgrade your Blu-ray player, and you can do that with using your HDMI cable. But I have never had any issues playing DVDs on my Blu-ray player.
Yeah, but you're talking, of course, Meadow Queen's talking about it not playing physically, right? But the thing is, it depends on the player too. But no, man. I just, if you look at my channel here, which is now being called for today,
Mm.
Mr. Mayo's movies. It was Mayo's movies. Now it's Mr. Mayo's
Right.
movies to kind of like link in maybe the algorithm with my other channel. But the thing is, if you look at a video I made not too long ago, you'll see I talked about a player that's really cheap. It was like $70. And boy, I've had nothing but praise for this. It's a Sony player, Blu-ray, and I have like three of them just to have extras just in case.
Mm.
Yeah, some people I've heard use
Yes.
PlayStation.
Yes. Very true. Yeah. Kimball also had another question for me that I wanted to answer when we get to it.
Okay, I'll try not to
Mm,
miss anything.
yeah.
I'm not sure how the comment feed works, so my apologies. You're doing all right, not clogging it up. What is the best directorial debut? Oh, I could go
Ooh,
on forever with
wow.
that. I think.
Wow. Well, go ahead.
I'm going to go. Well, Michael Crichton, his directorial debut was Westworld.
Mm,
That's the first movie he directed. And I said I could go on forever, and that's one of the cases where I have movies in my mind, but I can't
right.
just grab them where I want them.
Right.
But other people who did their
Um,
first.
yeah, I think of a lot of the recent, well, recent, I mean, 30 years, I mean, 25 years ago, I think of um, Paul Thomas Anderson with Hard Eight. I think of Wes Anderson with Bottle Rocket, Tarantino with Reservoir Dogs.
Mhm.
So a lot of the directors that came up from the '90s. I really like their directorial debut. And how can you go wrong with Citizen Kane as a directorial debut as well?
Was that Kane? Was that Wells' first?
Yeah, that was his first film he directed. Yeah.
All right. I'm sorry. Well, there's a lot of people are conversing, so it gets.
Mm.
Is this it? How is it moving your
Yeah.
collection cross
Yes.
country?
Yeah, I did have more when I moved here. I was over like 2,000 DVDs and hundreds of TV shows on DVD as well. And I found really good boxes for them. We found a company that took care of the boxes. So when I got them, everything was in good shape. We didn't move it ourselves. We hired movers to move their stuff, and I had no problem with it. They did a great job. So luckily that. Hey, Rachel.
Hello, just a shout out to Rachel's Music Ma'am live streams. Subscribe over there, check it out, and thank you for joining us.
Yes, sir.
Let's see. I agree. Oh, I always come up to this. I say, look, I
Mm,
always rather have suspense. I mean, I think one of the greatest horror movies ever made is Rosemary's Baby, where you don't really see anything per se.
right.
It's suspense. It's the terror of the craziness and evil that's going on with everybody's in on something except you, kind of thing. But but that said, a long time ago, I got into some gore films just for the sake of them too. I never take them serious. I know what I'm looking for when I watch that, which is, these will always be number one. I kind of say that because it's true, but also because I want to save a little face. I don't want people just seeing me for the first time thinking this guy's just into gore. No,
Right.
you know. And the worst is Herschel Gordon Lewis, which is like gore, the Godfather of gore. I think they called him just for the sake of it.
Hmm.
Films
Yeah,
where
I
it's
don't
just
like
like,
that. Yeah.
you know, I mean, those I can't take really. So I don't really like it for the sake of it, I
Right.
guess. But yeah, let's see. Let's see. Oh yeah, let's. Well, it doesn't really fit here too much, but you mentioned Rocky Horror. We lost
Yeah.
Meatloaf.
Yeah.
You know.
Loved him in Fight Club. That was a good role for him in Fight Club.
And
Yeah.
also Louis Anderson, right? That's his
Yeah,
name,
Louis
right? Louis.
Anderson we
Louis
lost as
Anderson
well.
passed
Yeah, today. Yep.
the same time. I have a story related to Christopher Lee with
Mm,
Meatloaf. He hosted Saturday Night Live. I want to say 78, maybe. And I remember reading the newspaper. The newspaper came with a TV listing, and on Saturday Night Live it said Christopher Lee introduces Meatloaf.
okay.
And I had no idea what that meant. No idea whatsoever. But that was Meatloaf. So okay. Oh, the last waltz is great. Bill
Oh yeah.
says.
Yep. Yeah, that's announced for Criterion Collection as well. Favorite
They-
later horror film other than
yeah.
The Exorcist is the first. Oh, yeah, Alien
Oh,
for
oh,
me
for
is
you,
kind of
it's the
scary.
first.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
Alien.
him, yeah.
I see. I thought it was a question.
Hmm. After after The Exorcist, I would say the first Nightmare on Elm Street.
I like the first Nightmare on Elm Street. After that, and I also like three Dream
Mm,
Warriors.
right.
He was kind of, he's a Don Rickles clown character making wisecracks there too, which I don't like usually, but I thought it worked good in that one. Three.
Mm.
Do you have a favorite silent movies, Tom?
I love the Chaplin stuff. All his silent stuff is great. Some of the D.W. Griffith is good. Even though controversial at times, but I like his stuff. If I had to pick one, I don't know if I could. I mean, I love the silent era, but it's not like I have a favorite though. Um, but I would it would probably be a Chaplin film though, for sure.
Yeah, Chaplin for sure. There's a lot of good
Yeah.
silent comedies that are good.
Right.
I'm a fan of Lon Chaney. I
Mm,
like stuff like oh man, The Penalty.
mm.
with him is something called Ace of Hearts. Phantom
Right.
of the Opera, of course.
Yeah.
And there's a movie with Conrad Veidt, The Man Who Laughs, which is very worth it because you see where I'm pretty sure that's the inspiration for the character of the Joker came
Mm,
through. He's got like this plastic smile glued to his face, The Man Who Laughs, looking like the Joker.
right.
I think that was the inspiration for that.
Mm,
And there are others too.
right. Nosferatu.
Nosferatu is good.
Yep.
I like. Well, I forget the
There's the
names
other
now.
one, Vampire, from the
Vampire, I think it's
Vampire.
pronounced.
Yeah, the
I
Phantom
think
Carriage. It's sticking with the horror genre.
what's
Yeah.
Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. I'm trying to also think what there's another one that you draw a blank sometimes.
Right.
Oh wow,
Rachel just said one, The Freshman by Harold Lloyd. Absolutely great film.
freshman.
Yep,
I haven't
very
seen
good.
that.
Yeah, it's part of the Criterion Collection as well.
The girl can't help it. Is that what you
Yes.
were talking about?
Yeah. 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 Great. Yeah. Thank you.
The
Thank you.
girl can't help it. Yeah.
Just so many movies. Sometimes it's hard to remember everything.
Yeah, Jane Mansfield. That opening is great
Yeah.
anyway. For
Yeah.
sure. So let's see what we got here.
I actually just watched a documentary on James Manfield that was really good, and I didn't know that she got mixed up with that Satan worshiper guy from the 50s and 60s. I forget his name now, but they got mixed in together, and he put a curse on her, saying that she was going to die in a car accident, or her manager or something like that. But it was interesting.
This is a good choice for a rock and roll movie.
Yeah, Grease,
Not
it's
not a not a
classic.
personal favorite.
Yeah.
By the way, I didn't put up my record show video. That reminds me of Olivia Newton. You have to watch whenever I get up my record fair video.
Yeah.
Eventually, I'll put it up. There's something about Olivia in there for you.
Yeah. There you go, Beans. Thank you, Anton Levy. Actually, I looked him up, and oddly enough, we shared the same birthday.
Oh,
Uh,
let's
yeah.
see. Okay.
Yeah.
Glad everybody's having a good time. It's just, yeah, yeah. Mayo's movies does have a better ring to it. I agree with it. Might have to get. I don't know yet. Have to get used to Mr. Mayo's movies. Maybe I don't know. We'll see. It has to do with algorithm. It has to do with when people search for me, Mr. Mayo, that comes up too.
Right.
If either that or put all these videos over me, Mr. Mayo channel, which I don't know if I want to go that far.
Right.
Let's see. If I missed anything, I'm going down to Meadow Queen. Okay. Yeah, I know. I know. It's really bad. I know. Let's see. There you go, Tom. That's for you. What do you think?
Didn't bother. I cannot.
Yeah.
After the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie, I hated the second and the third one. Didn't bother with the fourth one. And then I think it's the fourth one that has McCartney in it. Didn't bother. I know I love McCartney, but I had no interest in seeing it, and I wasn't going to go see it just to see the McCartney bit.
Right.
But the first one was great, but two and three I thought were god awful, and I didn't want to give any more money to that
Yeah,
franchise.
I have no interest. I've seen clips.
Yeah.
The thing up again, going back to the Blu-ray player thing and Get Back. Get Back is in 4K. I hear, right?
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So if you get Blu-ray, it's already technically a step down. But see, for me though, you can't go wrong with that. I think that when you
Mm,
get DVD, Blu-ray, in my opinion, I don't think you can go wrong with it. There's
right.
not. It's just my opinion that stuff like that, people sitting around in the studio, it doesn't have to look that fantastic. That's just me. But that said, I'll get the Blu-ray. I still haven't ordered it because I thought it was
Right.
going to be something I could just go into the store to buy,
Right.
and apparently, I don't know if that's going to happen.
I don't
Apparently,
know. No.
Amazon doesn't have it,
Now
supposedly.
they got the DVD. They don't have the Blu-ray.
No, no, I want the Blu-ray. Speaking of which,
Yeah.
it
Same
doesn't
here.
matter, but it
Yeah.
doesn't matter, right? Metal
Yeah.
Queen, but I'll take the
You can buy it on the
Blu-ray.
Beatles website. I know
Yeah, I
that.
think that's what I'm gonna do. Shh! Don't tell
Yeah.
everybody; it'll be sold out. Uh, eh, yeah, Rosemary's Baby is fabulous. I love that movie. It's so good.
Yeah,
Uh,
I don't know. I like it.
oh, he's
I'm
not a
just
fan,
not.
fan of it.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. Fine.
You don't have to. It's okay. I forgive you.
I mean, I've seen it several times.
Yeah. What's one unknown movie that you think everyone
Wow.
should see?
Oh
Every time
boy.
somebody asks me that, I always say this movie with Rock Hudson called Seconds.
Yes. Yes. Seconds
That's my
is
go-to unknown movie. Everybody's got to see.
and that's something like I should be ready for at all times. But it's like as soon as somebody asks me that, I kind of like draw a blank.
Yeah,
Anything by Toshiri Mafuno or Mifune. Stuff from the Criterion Collection, and Akira Kurosawa. The Yojimbos and such, and Seven Samurai. um the French New Wave stuff. If you can read subtitles, check out the Godard and the Truffaut stuff, Melville. I mean, so many great French films from the 50s and 60s that just really love. No, no, I've
no,
not
I've
seen.
not seen it, but I trust Mike's review of it, assessment of it.
Yep, yeah. I mean, I don't purposely seek out horror films. You know. Yes, I'm going to write that down, Tim. Thank you.
Write it down.
I'm gonna write.
Write
I'm
it
gonna
on your
write it
hand.
down. I'm gonna write myself a letter.
Wrong channel.
Proud. Yeah. Yeah.
Sunrise by F.W.
Yeah. And
Murnau's
Sunrise was the other one. Yeah. And I
Anton
think I
LaVey.
have. I might have Sunrise. I gotta look. Mm,
Okay, I'm going down. Boy, I really like. Hi, Danny. Yeah, The Burning. I saw it one time. It was just okay. I watch movies like that, but The Burning, I thought was going to be even better to
yeah.
me when I saw it. I've never seen Clerks. How about you?
Love it. That's another great directorial debut by Kevin Smith. Love, love, love Clerks. Actually, when I went to the White Album Symposium in New Jersey in 2018, Ed Chen from When They Was Fab, we drove to the little store where the film takes place. So that was cool to see.
Now, see, there's an example. This is Elvin. This is such a rare example. You'll very rarely ever hear me say a remake I like better than the original. But I like
Mm.
very much this 1978,
Donald Sutherland, right?
yeah, Donald Sutherland
Okay.
version of Invasion of the Body Snatchers, even better than the '50s one.
Right.
And I do not say that easily.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, don't doesn't mind subtitles.
Great. Yeah. Akira Kurosawa films. Especially the samurai ones. Check those out. Hidden
Okay,
Fortress, the movie that kind of inspired Star Wars, is a great film.
I think I just answered that question, Daniel. Yes, indeed. It definitely is high up. That's the first film that I ever saw where I went into the theater on my own. I was
Mm,
16. I just went like I'm gonna go to the theater today by myself and just buy a ticket and see a movie. I just remember that I did that. And for some reason, I remember a guy, an older guy, much like me now,
mm,
saying, "I want my money back" when it was over or something like that. I remember thinking,
yeah.
"Oh, what a jerk," but that's what people think now of me. So it is what it is. The new Invisible Man movie. Let's see. I
Well,
have not seen it. I've heard good
mm,
things about it. The Black Hole. Vengeance is Mine. Have you seen that? What is that? The Japanese film Criterion
yes,
released.
yeah, I own that one. That's a good one too. Yeah, Japanese cinema is really good too. I mean, especially I love the samurai genre.
I
At
love
one point,
Japanese cinema too. I like
yeah,
Godzilla.
yeah.
I love Godzilla films.
I mean, samurai films for Japan, was like the westerns in the 40s and 50s. I mean, it's like it was the bulk of the movies being made there.
That's right. Walk into the movie theater. I'll take that seat right over there.
If you got there early enough.
Throne of Blood.
Throne of Blood, absolutely, absolutely.
So I think I'm caught up for now. So you guys can come up with some more stuff to talk
Yeah.
about. Let's see. So what did I say before? Yeah. Just in case you missed the beginning, I'm going to be doing a series with a friend of mine named Richie. Some of you may know him. I have videos on my other channel with Julio and Richie. And Richie is a big fan of monster movies, and in particular, 1950s cheesy monster movies. So we're going to be doing a video that's going to be up fairly soon. I don't. Hopefully, we can record it Monday, or if not Monday next weekend after. So
Mm.
it's a new series I'm going to do. Mayo's Monster Mash.
Need to look something here. Um,
Not going to pull out Monster Mash, are you?
no, no, no. I mean, Tim was just asked a question about the Hong Kong films. I mean,
Oh
there's
yeah, there it is.
the Jackie Chan stuff. What there's a Police Story one and two, I think it's called. Um, uh,
Tom's got it all right there at his disposal.
yeah, Spun I haven't seen in forever, and I really need to go back and check that film out before I answer that, Daniel.
Yes, I have a favorite racing film. One of them, Spin Out with Elvis and Speedway, Viva Las Vegas, the racing
Yeah,
movie.
I mean, it's not
There must be
necessarily
some.
a Ford versus Ferrari is fantastic. The new one with Matt Damon and Christian Bale came out a couple years ago. I thought that was excellent. Yeah, Vinegar Syndrome. Yeah, I just picked up a couple films from that company. The Roddy Piper film, Hell Comes to Frogtown, and then there was another early Harold Lloyd film who came up with the trauma films. Bobby Deerfield I thought was terrible, Bill, unfortunately. But yeah,
I
Love
saw
Bug.
the
There
Love
you go.
Bug at a drive-in theater when I was like 6 years old.
Right.
Let's Herbie the Love Bug. Let's see. It's on Amazon Canada for pre-order. Well, damn, didn't mean to do that. No offense. Just that sometimes the thing shifts when you go to single out.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't really care much for. Yeah, Planet Terror.
I saw that.
Um,
It
yeah,
was Rodriguez, right?
yeah. That was with the Grindhouse stuff that he did
Grindhouse
with
double
Tarant.
feature.
Yeah, with
I
Tarantino.
prefer
Mm.
the Tarantino Death Proof that went with it,
Right,
but Planet Terror was interesting. That was the girl Rose McGowan with the.
right,
She had
right.
like a
The
gun for a
machine
leg,
gun. Yeah, the
machine
gun
gun
from.
leg,
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah. I kind of think that honestly, the best bits for that for me were the trailers, the fake trailers in between. Well, not fake. I mean, because Machete ended up becoming a film. But those trailers in between the two movies, for me, are the best.
I'm only going to indulge you guys because we have no questions. So here you go.
Mm.
Yes, Clambake, which, contrary to popular myth, is not the worst Elvis movie. There are worse movies than that. It's fun if you like it. It's actually a Prince and a Pauper story where he trades places with somebody. That whole thing about he's going to be the poor guy, and the other wants to get you know the poor guy is going to be the rich guy and trade places, that kind of thing. And the other one, where was the other one? Oh yes, Beans. Favorite Elvis film about nuns? I'll go with Change of Habit. If not for at least for just the song Rubbernecking.
Mm.
Are there any? It's a good question. Any great lost horror films? Well, there are some that were lost for a long time that be found. And why can't I think of any of them right now? Uh, well, The Ghoul with Boris Karloff. I wouldn't say it's a great film. The Ghoul from 1933
Mm.
was lost for years, and then they found it. And The Old Dark House was almost a lost film, also from 1932, and it's a great. That I consider that a great horror film, directed by James Whale, who did The Bride of Frankenstein. Um, but there's that film London After Midnight that's lost, which is a Lon Chaney film. And I don't, from all I've heard, I think it's going to be a disappointment if they ever find it anyway.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, Death Proof. Kurt Russell just oozes cool, yeah, except at the end when he's crying.
Right. I don't know if I'd put him in the character actor category, to be honest with you.
Some funny comments here in jokes.
Mm.
Oh man, wait, where am I? Death Proof. You're probably way ahead of me because I gotta like, yeah, guys. Uh, Come on, I keep the same questions keep popping up here for some reason. All right. Which ones is Tom Hanks in? I don't even know.
Well, there's the Terminal, which I still have never seen. So,
What decade span your movie interest, and when does it start falling off?
my favorite decade for film is the '70s, and I would say that it starts falling off. I would say mm, right around the mid '80s for me. So I would say the whole '70s, the first like half of the '80s, I think were good, but then once it just became more about the box office receipts, then those summer films just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. For me, that's when it kind of faded. But then my second favorite decade would probably be the '90s because I think directors started getting a little bit more control and they were able to take control of their films more. So, but yeah, so '70s and '90s would probably be my two favorite decades for films.
Yeah. Although I could enjoy some silent movies, I'm not really much of a
Mm,
silent movie guy, but I like the 30s. And I go from the 1930s, the 40s, the 50s, 60s,
right.
70s, 80s, and I'll even go into the 90s, somewhat. But like everything else for me, once you get to the 21st century, as far as I'm concerned, with exceptions, I've seen movies I liked in the
Right.
2000s. But I'm talking about for me exception rather than the rule. Not that I claim to have seen everything, but yeah, for me, 30s through early 90s, maybe.
Mm.
Uh, yes, indeed. You were talking about the terminal before. I've never seen
Right.
it.
Yeah. No. I honestly, it didn't interest me, to be honest with you. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, somebody else asked about the Crimson Cult, and I agree with Gray 1951 here. Crimson Cult. There's a lot of movies like that that have a big cast, like Boris Karloff, Christopher Lee, Barbara Steele, and then it winds up sucking. Michael Goff is in there also. That thing
Hmm.
sucks. What a wasted opportunity. There's another one that's a wasted opportunity. Oh man, it used to be so much. It happens, right? What's the one from the early '80s? It's got John Carradine. It's got Christopher Lee. It's got Peter Cushing. I think it's got other people in there too, and it's pretty poor. House of the Long Shadows, is that the one? Also got Desi Arnaz Jr. in it, I think. But that's another example of that. Oh,
Yeah.
favorite
I
Hitchcock?
keep going back to Vertigo.
Mm. Well, Vertigo, I definitely want to give another look because I saw Vertigo. Oh, jeez. How long is it now? 50, 20 years ago? And
Mm,
I thought it was one of the most overrated snore fests I ever saw in my life.
mm,
But the thing is, I'm going to give another shot. I want to give another shot. Sometimes you're in a different place.
right.
I like the birds. Being like in horror movies, I like the birds. I think that's my favorite Hitchcock movie. Yeah, I've seen other ones. I mean, not just the horror related ones, but Rope. I like Rope.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting
Rope
the way
is
it was
good.
all done in like one real time kind of thing. Uh, that's hard to. I've seen so many of them. I don't know where to begin. I saw something called
Yeah.
the erotic rights of Frankenstein, which sucked, and it was by Jess Franco. pretty terrible. I think it's by him.
What's
I
Leonard Part 6?
yeah, I walked out of a movie called Wired. It's supposed to be about the John Belushi life of John Belushi. I thought that sucked.
I walked out of the film that he was making when you met Pacino, City Hall. I
Oh,
thought that
City
was
Hall.
I thought that was just god awful.
Yeah, it's never been. It's not. I tried watching. It's not a topic I could get
Mm.
into. Let's see. Oh, that's an interesting question. Yeah, what's your first movie you remember
I
go to
would
a theater?
the re-release of Star Wars in '79. I
That's a
saw it in
good
the
first one.
saw it in the drive-in.
Well, I couldn't tell you what the very first one was, but I remember I have the earliest movies I have are usually around 1971 movies, but like the Omega Man, one of my favorite science fiction movies, the Omega Man, and also Willard about the rats, with the original Willard. And I know that my parents went to the drive-in a lot. My sister and I were in the back seat, but that would be the late '60s. So I saw
Mm.
some movies in the late '60s, and to this day I have images in my mind. I don't know what all the movies are that I saw. Some of them I've learned over the years. I saw stuff like the Green Slime in the movie theater at drive-in, but that was.
Right.
But I think that I can't imagine that they went to see the Green Slime. It must have been a double feature with something else, you know.
Hmm.
But there you have that. That's the first one I remember. But I'm sure I went there. I still have a memory though of seeing Help, a Beatles film, in the theater. And my mother doesn't remember it. Well, she does say that she didn't like the Beatles that much. She mostly endured it for me when they were first out. And
Mm.
I seem to remember seeing images on the screen of the snow, like
Hmm.
from Ticket to Ride and all of that. And I remember her leaving the theater and pulling me along for whatever reason. Whether the movie sucked, she thought, or whether we had to leave. I remember screaming, like that kind of thing, screaming and yelling that I want, making up a fuss, which I didn't do that often, she'll tell you. But I didn't want to leave. And that could have been Help. And the only thing she says to this day is, I say, like, did you ever see, like, you remember seeing this movie, Mom, or whatever it was? Is that the one when they're on the train all the time? And I said, no, that's A Hard Day's Night. Okay. Let's see. I got to go down to more questions. Mel Brooks silent movie. That's one Mel Brooks movie I've never seen.
Yeah, nor have I. Yeah.
1958. A lot of a
No.
lot of good horror monster cheesy films from that year. No, the
Well,
70s were
no,
good.
39.
39, yeah, 39 too. Okay.
39 was fantastic.
If I miss any of your questions, by the way, please rewrite them because I might have skipped them.
Yeah, I've never owned a home projector.
Yeah.
Um, so can't say to be honest with you, but I'm quite fine with what I have now. So,
Well, I'm not. All I have is a 55-inch flat screen TV, which is more than
mm,
adequate. When I was a kid, and if you could have told me back then that one day you'd own these things like Behind Tom, you go there, you grab your favorite movie on a disc and put it in, and you could have it on a big screen. We used to have the little TVs. I mean, 27-inch, 19-inch
right.
TV. I couldn't imagine. Now I'm thinking 55 inches too small. You
Yeah.
know,
No.
when I get into a bigger place one day,
Yeah.
I want to have. I don't think I need the projection. I think I just
Mm.
want the biggest TV they have. What are they up to right
Right.
now?
Well, it's 75, I think.
75. That'll
Yeah.
do it.
I mean, I was at Best Buy a couple of weeks ago looking at bigger TVs than the one I have now, and just checking out prices. So I mean, I do want to get something bigger. That's what she said, but
Yeah, I've been
other
I've been the
than
only one in a theater before, but I can't remember what for.
it was a Hitchcock film that I can't remember the name of. But yeah, I was, and it was for no. I'm sorry, no, it was for a Woody Allen film from the early 2000s.
reading a lot of comments that I missed. I'm gonna go from the bottom up right at this moment. Well, maybe
There you
not.
go.
I don't want to miss anybody. But
Nice
uh,
comments. It sure does, Robert.
okay, here we go. The last time I remember attending a drive-in theater was for Bride of Chucky.
Hmm.
That's pretty recent. That's fairly recent. There was a place around here,
Right.
and before that, I was in Arizona, in
Right.
Tucson, and we had the opportunity to see the Jurassic Park. It was in '93.
Mm.
Jurassic Park or Needful Things. I said Needful Things. I don't want to see Jurassic
Okay.
Park.
Well, yeah, we did a double feature at the drive-in, and it was the Flintstones and Jurassic Park.
Mm, let's see now. Okay, just mostly comments right now.
Yeah.
Also, we could. Rope is a good film. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
What was your first Disney movie? Well, I can't remember that. I mean, I know I liked all that stuff, mostly the vintage
Right.
stuff. I think I saw Bambi in the movie. That's another movie I remember seeing. I saw
Mm.
Bambi in the movie theater. I think I saw Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. I don't mean, of course, in the 30s, but you know,
Yeah, I can't remember what my first Disney film was. Yeah. We actually, because we still have Disney Plus, which we're gonna keep, by the way. We just went back and watched Pete's Dragon. Never seen that before, so that was cool seeing that, and The Rescuers, which was really good.
I have to remember to cancel Disney Plus. I haven't done it
You
yet.
still haven't
Charging.
done
I
it,
mean, enough. They charge you for nothing.
right?
And those, I'm sorry, folks. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I watched a broadcast recently where they were talking about the new Spider-Man movie, and I'm like, I'm the only one who like what it was. Yeah, these guys are like raving about it. They're all older guys too. They're not, kids. And I'm like, no, no, I don't like those Marvel movies. I'm sorry. I just don't. I mean, I haven't seen them all, but I've seen a few, and they're
Hmm.
just too over the top and goofy and comical and stuff. I don't know. So you ever
I
own
did
a
not.
laser
No.
player? I've never owned a laser player either. I just always thought they do better because they were so big and you had to flip them over. Sounds like vinyl, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know, but I knew they would do better at some point. Um, the only
Oh, I
handmade
like.
film I remember seeing is Time Bandits, which I really liked.
That's probably will be my pick. I adore Time Bandits. I saw it at a young age, and it's stuck with me. And I try to watch that movie at least once a year.
What would you say the last great movie was? Are there good movies anymore in your opinion? I know what Tom's
Yes,
gonna say.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. I just saw a really good movie, Licorice Pizza. The latest Paul Thomas Anderson film. I thought it was terrific. The film that won Best Picture a couple years ago, Parasite. I thought that was excellent. So that I would maybe say Parasite was the last great film that I saw.
I can't remember the last great movie that I saw, but I saw some good movies in the 2000s, and you know, um, there was a movie that called oh geez, I can't remember the name of it. Damn. There's a movie called Doubt that I liked. I thought that was a really
Oh,
good
Doubt
movie.
was excellent. Yeah, Paul,
And I
Philip
really
Seymour
liked that
Hoffman.
movie. But I'm a fan. I like Meryl Streep. I could watch Meryl Streep in almost anything.
Yeah,
So that's the reason I went to see it. I wouldn't see. That's another thing. I'm an old fashioned guy. It's like if I don't care if it's not De Niro or Pacino or Meryl Streep or somebody, I almost have no interest. But
right,
anyway, but I really liked it. Philip Seymour Hoffman was so great in there too.
right.
You know,
Yeah.
but I also I can't think of the side effects. That was a movie that before somebody asked, "What's a movie that nobody knows that you think?" I was so surprised. It was a newer movie. I mean, only not that it's the 2010s maybe,
Mm.
and I thought it was good. So anyway, I still believe they make good movies. I'm not one of these people. Oh, yeah, generally, you may hear me or somebody say, "Oh, there's no good music anymore. Oh, there's
Mm,
no good this." Of course, there are. What you mean is there's so few for you that you generalize. But of course,
right.
there's stuff that's good. But the golden era, no. However you feel about it, in my opinion, I don't think this is the golden era. There's no more golden era of movies or music.
Tim, haven't got to see the latest Wes Anderson film, but I know the Criterion Collection releases all of his films, so I'll eventually see it when that comes out.
Did you see King Kong Skull Island? I've never seen it. I know I'm a fan of, Godzilla and King Kong. Incidentally, Peter Jackson, I loved what you did with Get Back. Hated what you did to King Kong.
Yeah, King Kong. Yeah, yeah. Was not the biggest fan of King Kong.
Yeah, it's, really. I tell you, I'd rather watch King Kong versus Godzilla. I'd rather see King Kong in a rubber suit in Japan, be in the ocean and
Right.
his the suit stick is matted to his body and it looks all fake and everything. I'd rather watch, but I grew up with it for God's sake. What do you expect? I admit that it's a nostalgia thing completely, but it is fun. Besides nostalgia, those Japanese monster movies are fun.
Yeah. Speaking of nostalgia, speaking of nostalgia, that's one of my favorite franchises is Indiana Jones, and they really dropped the ball with Kingdom of the Crystal Skull or whatever the hell it was called, and I'm gonna see it for nostalgia reasons. Am I expecting a lot from it? No, I'm not. But I'm not going to go in there thinking it's going to be great or anything. But I love the first three.
I
Especially the first one.
My thing is, I saw the first, well, three in the movie theater. I saw
Hmm.
Raiders of the Lost Ark, really liked it. I
Mm,
don't own it, but I'm gonna own it eventually. I saw the second one, and all I remember is the kid going, "Indy,
yeah.
Indy," screaming for the whole thing. That's all I remember, is annoying kid.
What, the second
And
one? No Time for Love, Dr. Jones.
and the third one was Sean Connery was in the third one.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't really remember it, to tell you the truth. I have no interest in it. But the
Mm,
first one I'd like to own, maybe, and I don't know how often I'll watch it again. That's the problem. I never saw
yeah,
Avatar. Did you?
yeah. I did. I saw it in the theater. Here's the box set of the first
Oh,
four
it's Tom
films. Yeah,
doing his
but
stuff.
I would visually Avatar is great. Yeah. Um, but story wise, it was boring. But apparently he's done filming two, three, four, five, six, seven, and eight of the Avatar sequels. But what is your favorite snack to watch movies with? Not so much anymore, but my favorite, I had to have a bag of pistachios and a six pack of Sam Adams. That was my movie, food and drink.
It's funny. I've never been a guy that, like, when I go to the movies, I gotta have something to eat with the movies. I've never been one of those guys.
Yeah.
To me, it's like serious business. You're going to the movies. I'm here to watch a
Right.
movie, not to eat. But yeah, I've had popcorn.
Well, I should
But
say at
you
home.
know,
I should say at home. I love to get
oh, at home.
pistachios and
Yeah,
beer.
and at
Yeah,
home, I
yeah,
just don't really.
mm,
I don't.
yeah,
I should, though, because I should eat something when I'm watching, because that'll help me stay awake.
yeah.
Because I have a chronic problem with that, folks, and
Right.
it's staying awake while watching movies anytime. It
Mm,
could be it could be late at night. I could have a night's sleep, get up, and then around 10, 11 o'clock, put a movie on, I'll fall asleep then too.
yeah.
But sometimes, well, I manage to stay awake. It's not all the time, but I don't know what it is. I mean, I watched all those Get Back things. I was riveted. I watched 3 hours, whatever they were, no sleep. And I
Yeah.
do better. It's funny. I do better if I'm sitting there with somebody I want to show the movie to. Like if Tom was over, and I say, "Tom, I want you to see this movie.
Right.
I'll see what you think of it." I'll stay awake.
Mm,
It's funny. Maybe because I'm interested in his reaction. You know.
right. No, I get that. You're watching it through someone else's eyes, and that's can be exciting.
You
Tim.
know. I mean, I never had insomnia, and I don't. I know a lot of people suffer from insomnia. I would never want to have
Mm,
insomnia, but boy, sometimes I envy some of them. I know people that have it say, "Don't envy me. Can't sleep." It's like, well, I'm tired of it. Like we'll watch TV,
Yeah.
my girlfriend and I. I'll be on the couch, couch, and eventually fall about this time. 10 o'clock, 10 to start
Mm.
falling asleep. Then I'll wake up at 1 o'clock, and she'll be in the other room still awake. She'll stay up
Right.
to 3 o'clock. God
Right.
bless you. So you
Yeah.
can actually.
Speaking of insomnia,
Oh
see the original. if you
no,
if
no!
you
I saw both of them.
yes.
We have
No,
disagree on a lot of things.
the
Do not
Stellan
see.
Skarsgård version
No,
is 10 times better than the Pacino Robin
Pacino's great.
Williams.
Pacino's the man.
Oh, no, 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 no,
Robin
no.
Williams, between Robin
Yes.
Williams
No, no,
and
no. That
no,
original Insomnia blows the remake out of the water.
I don't agree. But I didn't hate it, but I definitely
Mm.
preferred the other one. Oh man, there's probably a lot of good things I missed because I'm talking so much. So I'm gonna go down here. Uh, Cats was horrible. We're looking for. I've been on these already. Avatar is everything wrong with movies today.
I can understand that, absolutely.
Yeah, and also The Mummy with Brendan Fraser is everything that's wrong with movies for the last
Mm.
20 years. Boy, do I hate that movie. Oh, Brendan Fraser Mummy. Nyuk, 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 nyuk. Oh, I hate it. Everybody's got every freaking monster they have got to go, "Roar!" and their mouths go down like 30 feet
Right.
because they can draw it in. Oh, I hate that. Yes is the answer to this. That's all I'm going to say. Not by myself, mind you, but well, wait a minute. No, no, I'm
No,
kidding.
wait.
I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. Uh, but no, I had that with girlfriend. With girlfriends.
Yeah. Goobers.
He saw the new Ricardos. Hey, Sam, what's up? Sorry I missed you at Larry's place today. I'll see you there another time. So being the Ricardos, it was meh. Yeah, I thought it was kind of meh. Well, you saw my review on it. Yeah, dark in terms of film quality. They wanted it to look like the old days. They made it like sepia and everything, and they could have used a lot more lighthearted moments in it. Even though it's a serious story, they should have. I think they should have shown more what made Lucille Ball so great. Why she was so funny. Why we have a movie about this in the first place. So
Right.
show a little of
I
that. You
yeah.
know.
And it looks like they probably took a little page out of that Stan and Ollie
Yeah,
film, wasn't it?
that's a good.
You know?
That's interesting. Yeah, a good comparison there.
Yeah. The wrestler FD Superstar I think is excellent. I think Mickey Rourke is fantastic in that film.
Yeah, I never did. I never pulled the old hole hole in the popcorn
Speaking of
box.
Mickey Rourke, he did that in Diner.
Yeah, diner. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good best scene in that movie, and also the scene where I forget the guy's name. Who's the guy that yells at his wife about touching his records? Don't ever
Oh,
touch my
Daniel
records.
Stern
Neil
and
Stern and
yeah
the woman that was
and
in Seal of Ellen Barkin.
yeah, Alan Barkin. Yeah. Yeah. That's a good film.
If someone out there get word to Pete Pardo that I want to do the Monsters Den, will you? Sea of Tranquility. Just throwing that in out of nowhere. You know.
Hmm. Yes, I'm a fan of Clint Eastwood films.
No, I love that we disagree so much. That's great. Can't agree all the time.
Right.
No, I mean, I don't have nothing against old Clint, but I don't think he's that much of an actor. I don't know what everybody raves about him with. I have the movie Gran Torino though. I don't know why I got that on Blu-ray. I saw it in the movie theater. Well, he's
Yeah.
a grouch in there, I guess that's why. But
Maybe
my
you can relate, right?
favorite Clint Eastwood movie is from 1955, Revenge of the Creature, and
Oh
that's
my
only because
god.
he's got an early cameo in there, and that's it. He wasn't even Clint Eastwood yet.
That's hilarious. Uh yeah, the original Dirty Harry film I love. Beguiled, I really like. A lot of great
Yeah, I liked
Clint Eastwood
Stan and
films.
Ollie better than the Ricardos movie, I think. But it's still Stan and Ollie. It wasn't accurate. It was not accurate either. Why you got to do that? But anyway, they're making a Ronnie Spector. That's interesting. I wonder who they're going to get.
Mm.
I'm sorry. It's hard sometimes with these to figure out there. I recommend Joe the King. $1 Million Baby. I called it $500,000 cliche. I remember I saw it. It was like it's been cliche 1,000 times. You know, it's like well, you got to do that. I forget what it was. The, the whole thing was like done already. Typical
Yeah.
boxing movie. Try to get on top. Yes, I saw the Love and Mercy biopic. I don't really know the history of the Beach Boys very well. This is a good example where they could do anything, and if you're like me and you don't know the facts, you believe it. So I don't know what's true or what's not in it, but it was okay. I just thought it was the two actors didn't look alike at all, even though they're different eras in Brian Wilson's life.
Hmm.
Oh, wait a second. Is that the one? I know that name from Zendaya. Is that the one that was in the new Spider-Man movie, playing an MJ who looks nothing or acts nothing like MJ? I am not a fan of this multiverse thing. That is the stupidest thing ever. I mean, there could be multiple universes, fine, in my opinion, but not multiple universes in the movie world where, like, just because it was Tobey Maguire played a Spider-Man in one series and these other two guys, and all three of them are different Spider-Men. No, it's not like James Bond. You can't have like seven guys meeting like there's seven James Bonds. It's the craziest thing. I hated that. You see, I'm getting into it, really getting into the critique.
Yep.
Drives me nuts. Old
Um,
Roman era movies. What are we talking about? Gladiator movies? Not
well,
Gladiator
Spartacus.
movies?
Spartacus.
Spartacus. The overrated Spartacus.
Do you like
I'm
films
Spartacus.
about gladiators? I love the Coen brothers, Daniel Bean. So yeah, the man who wasn't there is one I enjoy. If that's the one you're talking about. Office Space, I think, is hilarious. Beans.
Now, it could be easy just to say, okay, folks, that could be, but it's always good to have an hour, 10 minutes. But I'm still having
Yeah,
fun, so I
yeah.
may
No,
just
it's a
hang
good
around a little
time.
bit.
Yeah.
So you want to hang around a little bit? We'll hang around a little more. No more than 90.
Yeah.
Let's see. Love and Mercy was mostly accurate in terms of historical significance. Hmm.
Hmm.
So, anybody out there that's not subscribed to my movie channel, Mr. Mayo's Movies or Mayo's Movies, whatever I'm going to call it, we'll find out. Let's do it. Do it. Do it. Subscribe. Hit the bell. Is there still a bell? I don't even know if there's a bell anymore.
Hmm.
Hit the bell. Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
Don't miss any of my videos. Yeah, you get sucks because you have to deal with me talking a lot about 1930s horror movies. you know, that's tough, isn't it? Isn't it? You can't do that. The Beatles are so hard to do. John's easier though.
You know,
It has
I'm
to be an
sure
unknown,
there's yeah. It has to be an unknown.
and he has to look something like Paul. He has to look
Yeah.
something like Paul. He has to have those eyes, those doggy eyes, puppy
Yeah.
dog eyes, or whatever they call them.
Just want
Because if
to.
it,
Yeah.
you see those actors, Tom, that for that Brian Epstein pick that they're
Mm,
making biopic, they have a shot around of the guys in the Beatles, and they're
yeah.
supposed to have Jay Leno playing Ed Sullivan.
I've heard that, but I didn't see
Oh
that
man,
picture you're
the
talking
Beatles,
about.
they look. I'm not going to see that thing. I'm sorry. I might have to see it though. Come to think of it. We'll see. We switched. Hold on a minute. Are you going to see the rooftop concert in theaters? Not me. No, gonna miss it. I think Tom's missing it too.
I'm very bitter about that.
But it might not be an IMAX theater, but I may have a chance to see it better. It's supposed to be in a couple of dates in the middle of February at regular theaters too. Yeah, that's a good choice. Whoopi Goldberg. Yeah, it's not a bad choice at all. Or
Oh.
Angela Lansbury. Play
She could
Paul.
play the old. She could play the older Paul. Those pictures are just so bad. Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't even say this because they'll do it. Pirate Gamer Boy, they'll do it. They will put him. They will do
Yeah,
CGI. Don't even get
just
me
like the
started.
Beck Find My Way.
Don't even get me started.
Hmm.
Funniest film you've ever seen? That's hard for me to say. I got a bunch, but I got to think of them. I'll just name the ones that come to mind.
Yeah.
How's that? Here's some of mine. Sons of the Desert, Laurel and
Mm.
Hardy, one of their best feature film. Um, My Cousin Vinny, I think, is one of my favorite comedies. And then I come drawing after that. I'm like, what else is there? There must be tons. I can't think of them right now.
I laughed nonstop during Borat.
Oh, I
Um,
like Borat actually. The first one I did.
yeah,
It was one of those
uh,
movies that I was
yeah.
surprised.
Nonstop. Bridesmaids. I thought was funny as hell, and obviously Airplane is might be my favorite comedy of all time.
Racist Top Secret.
Yeah,
I remember that
yeah,
Top Secret. I also I like stupid movies like The Naked Gun, the first one
yeah.
with Leslie Nielsen. Then he went overboard with two and three and all this other stuff. But it's funny, like and then Abbott and Costello.
Mm.
I There's certain Abbott and Costello scenes in it. It's hard for me to find like a comedy where I say, "Oh man, that's like drop dead funny." I very rarely like laugh at things out loud. Like I'll chuckle to myself. I think, ah, that was humorous.
Mm.
You know. What about Bob? Yeah,
Yeah.
that was all right. Well, I see that because I like Richard Dreyfuss and I like also oh boy, Bill Murray.
Oh, Tim Allen, absolutely. Especially Best in Show might be the best, and Spinal Tap is hilarious as well. Yeah, yeah. I've got a very sick sense of humor, Robert. So yeah, I do find Borat very funny.
Yeah, I remember that first one. I did think it was funny. Yeah,
Yeah,
and that was so outlandish.
right,
I seem to remember something about some guy he fought in bed or something, some big
right.
fat guy or something.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
seem to remember something like from the dark
right,
recesses of my mind.
right. Well, you're not wrong. Yeah, Blazing Saddles and Young Frankenstein. I think Blazing
Oh,
Saddles is funnier, for sure.
After Hours. Yeah, After
Mm,
Hours is one of my favorite comedies. Dark. It's a
mm,
very dark comedy. I did a video
right,
on it.
right.
Animal House I like as well. Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah, Mighty Wind is fine beans, but I think that's like third behind Best in Show and Waiting for Guffman.
Yeah, I like It's a Mad World too.
But it's not drop dead funny. I don't
No, I
think.
don't think not
You know.
Drop Dead. But that's another thing too. I've heard like when young, I showed it to my nephew. I don't think he was wild about it, and
Mm.
a lot of younger people, especially, don't know all of the people in it, like the guest stars in it.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
But then again, let me think. We're talking about. I like The Lonely Guy with Steve Martin is my favorite Steve
Uh.
Martin movie. I'm trying to think of comedies. Night Shift is one of my favorite comedies of all time
Oh,
with
yeah.
Henry Winkler and Michael Keaton. Although it's so like kind of a love story too. But how can I forget these? Tootsie. I think Tootsie's a great comedy. Dustin
Mm,
Hoffman is brilliant in it.
mm,
The King of Comedy I like also, although that's
right.
yeah,
Yeah.
King of
It's more
Comedy.
satire than
Yeah, more like
um.
a
Yeah.
satire thing. The
I
vacation
did I
movies.
did laugh very hard at the second Ace Ventura film, Jim Carrey, when he's doing the whole cliffhanger, the Stallone bit where he's like, going, walking like with the rope, and he's got like a raccoon, I think, with him, and then he's holding onto the raccoon, and the raccoon falls, slips out of his hand. And then there was also the bit where he's in the rhinoceros, I think it was. He's sweating, and the only way he can get out of it is going through. his ass was
Sometimes you laugh at things in spite of yourself.
right. Yeah, yeah,
Well, I'm
yeah,
not. I hate Jim Carrey, but I gotta say I did
yeah.
like The Mask. That's probably my favorite Jim
Right.
Carrey movie.
Yeah,
Vacation. Well, the first Vacation and Christmas Vacation,
yeah. Holy
probably some of them.
Grail. Yeah, Holy Grail. David is hysterical as well.
Did
Yeah,
you get this?
absolutely.
Did you get to see this yet? Didn't you? Weren't you going to see this
I yeah,
recently?
I've got it right there, and I got that and the Jerk that I still need to watch, and
I
then I put Dead Man Don't Wear Plaid. I think it's called. I put that on my Amazon
yeah,
list to get. Yeah,
and I think Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is pretty good. I'm not. I
yeah,
don't think it's a lot of people
yeah,
go nuts for it. I just think
yeah.
it's pretty
But
good.
I really enjoyed Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. Nice, Tim.
Yeah, for all the wrong reasons. Especially when Ringo's going over the waterfall. Ah, like
Right.
Ringo, don't go over the waterfall. Ringo's gonna die. Ah, hell out of here. Yeah, and the question was asked earlier. What's like a Blu-ray a movie you want on Blu-ray? And finally, for years, I wanted Night Shift on Blu-ray. That came out.
Right.
I love that movie. What's this question? You could recast or choose a new director for a movie you've seen. Who and what would you choose? Can you think of that fast enough? I might have to think of that.
I'm sure there's movies out there that would have been better if a different director, like for instance, okay, the film Clockers that Spike Lee directed with Harvey Keitel. Um, that was originally supposed to be a vehicle for Robert De Niro with Martin Scorsese directing. And I think of something like that as something that could have been better if it was done with the original director involved. And matter of fact, and speaking of that, yeah, I could, I like Big, and I'm just so dumbfounded as to why they thought Robert De Niro would have been good in that film at one
They
point.
did.
Yeah, yeah, but it was a different story in a way. But yeah, De Niro was connected to Big at one point.
I'm not
Yeah.
big. I'm not big on war films at all. But
Mhm.
if it's a good film, it's a good film.
1917 was the last great war film that I saw a couple years ago in 2019. I think it was actually 1917 was the last film I saw in the theater until I saw just recently saw Licorice Pizza. Ridley Scott is interesting because he's had such a roller coaster career. He gets on a good roll, does two, three, four good movies in a row, and then we'll do a dud.
Other than a Beatles related documentary, what do you? I think I like "Don't Look Back," the Bob Dylan one.
That's really good. The Last Waltz is great. If you think that's a documentary. Um, that's a good. No, actually saw a really good one on oh damn it, the Canadian guy that's the If You Could Read My Mind guy. Why? Oh, why am I? Why is it drawing a blank on it? Damn it!
That'll happen.
Uh, I know. Damn it! No Direction Home is good, but yeah, but it
Yes
ended
is
up
the
being
answer to
really
this,
good.
by the way.
Yeah,
I'm not a Star Wars guy, so I'm not qualified to say. But
Gordon
look,
Lightfoot. Thank you. Yeah,
Gordon Lightfoot. Oh, it's
Lightfoot.
interesting. I might
Yeah,
be listening to
yeah.
Gordon Lightfoot's greatest hits soon.
Well, it's on Amazon. If you have Amazon Prime, you can watch it there. And it was a really good documentary on him. Yeah, and Robert, they did because you know what? George Lucas was there to be a consultant, and he was promised that his stories or whatever that he had drawn out would be used, and then they ended up just going a completely different direction, which was too bad.
Also, I mean, I do like "Gimme Shelter." I think "Gimme
Another
Shelter"
good
is a very
one.
powerful movie
Yeah, yeah.
as far as rock documentaries go.
Yeah, what's the other one? Oh, the Monterey Pop, the complete Monterey Pop. Documentary is real good as well.
Well, as much fun as I'm having, this is going on a ways. I think we'll end it because we'll get up to 90 minutes, so we can have more for next time.
Yeah.
All right. So, look, Tom, thanks for being here. You're welcome anytime.
Thanks for having me, Joe.
And everybody in there, thank you so much for joining us and participating in the conversation and the questions. And, this is open. There could be other people here too anytime, just contact me if you want to talk about movies. Somehow we'll figure out a good time. You can join us. All right.
Yeah. Thank you,
So,
everybody, for
all right.
being here.
And
Yeah.
we'll do it again real soon. And don't forget, if anybody out there listening to my words is interested in cheesy 50s, or not so cheesy, horror and science fiction monster kind of movies, I'm going to be doing a video soon with my friend Richie. And he's really into those kind of movies. So we're going to be picking our 10 favorites, which is not going to be easy to do. 10 from him, 10 from me. Okay, all. Talk soon. And don't forget, Two Legs, a Paul McCartney podcast. That's Tom Hunyadi's
Yeah.
movie unrelated Paul McCartney podcast. Thank you, Tom.